It lies
Somebody is
hidden
going
in
to
plain
solve this
sight.
before you finish watching this video.
A master
and you will
code
never know
still
if it was them.
unsolved.
The CIA built a
Can you
secret
break the
they couldn't
final
crack
lock?
on their own property, and then lied to the entire planet about it for a year. Not a theory, a fact they were eventually forced to admit under pressure after they thought they'd gotten away with it. Somewhere in Virginia, right now, while you're sitting exactly where you are, there's a sculpture in a courtyard at CIA headquarters. Employees have walked past it every single day for 35 years. They still can't read all of it. 3 questions. Memorize them right now, because I'm not repeating them politely. What is it hiding? Who actually knows the answer? And what happens the moment someone finally cracks it? None of them get answered by the end of this video. Not one. And I want you to feel that right now, in your chest, a little bit, because that discomfort is the entire point of the next 10 minutes. 1990, an artist named Jim Sanborn is commissioned to build it. He calls it Kryptos. Nearly 2,000 encrypted characters, 4 sections, 4 separate ciphers, sitting permanently on US government soil. Then, the single largest concentration of trained codebreakers on the planet gets to work on it. In their own front yard, on their lunch break probably. Within a year, 3 of the 4 sections fall. And then something happens that the CIA did not want you to ever find out. A CIA analyst named David Stein solves the first 3 sections completely alone, on his own time, with a pencil and paper. No team, no department resources, no supercomputer. Just a man, a pencil, and 30 years of institutional smugness about to get humiliated by a legal pad. He reports it to his superiors. They bury it. For an entire year, the agency lets the rest of the world keep believing the sculpture in their own courtyard is still a total mystery, while the answer sits in a filing cabinet down the hall, probably next to someone's lunch. That's the lie I opened with. An intelligence agency chose, on purpose, to let millions of people believe something false, because the truth was inconvenient. Hold that. It comes back, and when it does, it's worse. Here's a question for you, personally, right now. If the CIA can sit on a solved secret for a full year and let the entire world keep guessing, what do you think they'd do with something that actually mattered? A year later, a total outsider, a computer scientist with zero connection to the agency, brute forces the same 3 sections. And unlike the CIA, he does the one thing they refuse to do. He tells everyone, immediately, publicly, because unlike a government agency, he had nothing to protect. Which leaves the agency exactly one option. Let an outsider take full public credit on their own front lawn, or finally admit one of their own already solved it and hid it for a year. They chose to admit it, which means for 12 straight months, the people whose entire job is knowing things sat on an answer and let everyone else keep guessing in the dark. On purpose, while being paid by you to know better. Ask yourself that question again. What else, right now, tonight, is sitting quietly filed away because the truth was inconvenient? You don't know. You can't know. Neither could anyone standing in that courtyard for that entire year, walking past the answer every single morning without knowing it was already there. 3 sections down, section 4 remains. 97 characters. Say that number out loud, right now, wherever you are. 97. Sitting in plain sight, on copper the agency walks past every single working day, for 35 years. Nobody has broken it. Not the agency, not the NSA, not the thousands of obsessive amateurs who've burned years of their actual lives on it. Not university departments with grant money and supercomputers. Not the machine learning models thrown at it in just the last few years, trained on more decrypted text than any human in the history of the species has ever seen. 97 characters have beaten every code-breaking resource on the face of the planet for 35 years. Sit with that the next time your phone asks you to solve a CAPTCHA to prove you're not a robot. Here's where it stops being a puzzle and starts being something stranger. The artist starts dropping clues, on purpose, slowly, over decades, like he's enjoying this. 2010, 6 letters, Berlin. 2014, the next word, clock. Berlin, clock. Say those 2 words together and sit with how little sense they make. Nobody has ever fully explained it, Not Sanborn, not the CIA, not decades of researchers chasing it through every Cold War rabbit hole imaginable. A specific clock in Berlin tied to a specific piece of Cold War espionage history. An object that might still be standing right now in that city, ticking, waiting for somebody to understand why it matters. Or one that was quietly dismantled decades ago and no longer exists anywhere except inside one man's memory. He gives you exactly enough to keep hunting and never enough to stop. That's not generosity, that's control. Now, here's the part that changes everything. Sanborn is the only human being alive who has ever known the complete answer to his own creation. For over 3 decades, one man has personally carried a secret that an entire national intelligence apparatus with unlimited money and unlimited time could not pull out of him or his sculpture. One man. And a man cannot guard a secret forever. Bodies fail, memories fail, men die. So he made a decision that should genuinely disturb you. He didn't publish it. He didn't donate it to an archive, a museum, anywhere it would become permanently public property. He arranged, in writing, through legal channels, for the complete final answer to be sold at auction to a private buyer. Like a painting, like a car. Sit with that. The answer isn't a mystery anymore. It's somebody's property, somewhere on Earth, right now, while you are watching this exact video. A private individual either already owns the one answer the entire United States intelligence community failed to produce in 35 years, or is about to close on it like a real estate deal. They don't have to tell the CIA. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell anyone, ever, for the rest of their life. And neither will their children when they inherit it. Let's count exactly what we know, because it's worse when you say it fast. 1. The CIA built a code on its own property it never solved on its own. 2. Both cracked sections were solved by people the agency never authorized, and one of those they deliberately hid from the public for a year. 3. The final section, the one piece that has outlasted every codebreaker on the planet, now legally belongs to a private citizen with zero obligation to ever say a word about it. Nobody has explained why Sanborn chose to sell it instead of releasing it for free. Nobody has confirmed what Section 4 actually says. Nobody knows who bought it, what they intend to do with it, or whether they're sitting somewhere right now, quietly, already knowing something the US government spent 35 years failing to find. And here's what I actually want you sitting with tonight, alone, after this video ends and the room goes quiet again. If the single most resourced intelligence agency on the planet couldn't break a code 50 feet from their own front door for 35 straight years, what exactly do you think they've missed everywhere else? What exactly are you not being told right now, today, somewhere far less visible than a courtyard sculpture? You're watching this on a phone or a laptop or a screen, sitting in a room you think you know, in a life you assume you have a clear picture of, and you have no actual way of verifying that anything you were ever told was true was actually true. That isn't paranoia. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's Kryptos, proven publicly for 35 years by the one agency on Earth whose entire job was supposed to be knowing things first. The sculpture is still standing in that courtyard right now. While you watch this, employees are walking past it today, this exact hour, the same way they have for 35 years. And somewhere, right now, a private buyer may already know the one thing an entire intelligence agency never could, and may be looking at it right now, at the exact same moment you're looking at your screen. What is it hiding? Who actually knows the answer? And what happens the moment someone finally cracks it? Nobody's saying. And until somebody does, you are exactly as in the dark as every single person who has ever walked past that courtyard. for 35 straight years. Still are right now, tonight, closing this tab, going back to a life you were never actually shown the full truth about.